Okay, I'm doing a 2005 Yukon Denali heater core removal, and I haven't seen anything on YouTube that actually show you where all the screws located at. It's some people on here that they tell you, they show you the aftermath when they finish with it, or some bullshit like that. But anyway, um, on the dashboard, you have to remove these screws right here, right there. One, two, three, four. Those four. Okay. You got to remove the screws from the glove box. Now, on the glove box, all you can do is take your drill and push the two rivets in. The rivet screws and the other screws, you take those out. And then these screws right here, when you take the top of it off, those screws all the way over. That whole bracket. What I did was I took a bunch of different color fingernail polish and I marked all the screws with different colors where they go at and where they come from. And I put the little marks on the brackets where they come on the brackets too. And after you mark that bracket, that's where you know to put everything back at. And see all the screws on the front of the dash? You got to remove all those too. And you got to remove that speed odometer and the screws behind that. In the driver's side, it's the same as on the passenger side. Those screws that located right there too. And the black box that's up under the dash, that's where the heater core is, in the inside of that. You got to remove that center console too. The center console have like 20 screws in it. It's like in the back of it. You move the cup holder door, and you see screws right there. Then if you move those screws, you lift up on it. It's two more screws right there. Once you remove those screws from the top of the console, that's when everything else will start falling apart like a puzzle. You'll see it. Um, the dash, the steering wheel. You go ahead and drop those screws. Drop it down. I don't care what nobody tell you. You gotta remove that center console. Like I said, it's like 20 screws in that. Um, and once you get to the heater core, the heater core hoses, you're gonna have to remove those. Make sure you move the heater core hoses and order new ones. I got them off of Rock Auto. Even the hoses, I got the hoses on Rock Auto like $50, like $53 or something like that each. The dealer wanted like 100 or something freaking bucks. Napa wanted like 100 something bucks. Um, but anyway, and see those screws right here on the back of the firewall? You got to take those screws out. I think it's like one, two, three, uh, maybe four. Yeah, four screws, maybe four. I can't remember if that was screw, but I know those three right there at the top. And you gotta remove the canister. You gotta remove that too. Yeah, because you're gonna lose your freon. Then you're gonna come over here. You gotta remove those screws. That's to pull the whole tray out, the black tray that where the heater core is. So that's the screws. Like, forgive me, this is my first time doing this, but I know how it is when you trying to figure something out and everybody, I made one mistake. The little this right here, this is for the GPS, the antenna for the GPS. So I made one mistake with that. I didn't mark it and I pulled it out. So what I did was I went to the junkyard to see where that wire was located, and I just snapped it back in. That's the only one I made a mistake on. Besides the little globe on top of the dashboard, that screws off. That screws off like a light bulb. So be very careful with that as you removing that because it's very sensitive. That little ball will break on you, and I'm not sure if you'll be up shit's creek on that. But I know you don't want everything to break on anything to break on you. But just remember where all the screws came from again, because you don't want to be riding around and your dashboard rattling.